All right, how about we do a Brock Purdy appreciation study ball? I know a lot of people continue to not want to give him the credit that I think he deserves. So let's break down this game against Tampa. Now, I didn't even think Brock played a very good first half. I didn't think he was the most accurate in this game either. Something that he's usually really, really good at. But even in despite all of that, I thought he did so many things really, really well, which I see on a weekly basis that not a lot of guys in this league do. All right, and so along with some of this stuff, it's it's teaching as well. And so here's what San Francisco is going to do on this play. So they're going to motion Pearsall out here, and he's going to end up running a comeback on this play. And they're running a naked bootleg. Okay, so with the naked bootlegs, what you're always going to have is you're going to have somebody going to the flat, you're going to have somebody running it over, and then you're going to have somebody going to this deep area of the field over here, the comeback or the corner route. Okay, and the reason I'm showing this one is because to me, the read on this play becomes, of course, the flat first. Okay, so we're always looking to try to get everything to condense, and we're trying to get this flat over here, which is, what we're doing on a naked bootleg is really just trying to get the flat. But anytime we get one-on-one over here, especially when you have a comeback, quarterbacks, coaches, go flat to comeback and then work to your crosser. Okay, if you don't have one-on-one, meaning if you have a rolled corner and a safety over the top and it's not conducive for a comeback, then forget the comeback. Okay, but what you really want to do is go flat to over the top if you get one-on-one and then back to the crosser. And here's a great example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so he's looking to get that shallow. The shallow gets kind of bumped as it's coming across. But look at this. Look at the throw that we have. We got everybody to condense, and that's one of the reasons why we look at this second if we don't get the quick one. We have everybody to condense with the play fake. And now look what we have. Look at this one-on-one out here that we get on this particular play. Easy throw, going right to where we're going. There's nobody underneath it, and it becomes an easy throw for us, and sometimes even easier than the flat. But we always want to look at the flat in case we have pressure coming in our face. We always want to think quick first, because that's really the naked, is just to kind of slow the defense down in the run game, get the quick one to the flat, and live for another down. But you don't have the flat, you get one-on-one on the outside, work right to your comeback, boom, there it is, huge play for a first down if you take it. This is always an interesting concept when guys run two in routes on the same play. Okay, because you're always worried that those guys are going to run into each other. But if you have good timing and you throw it on your side of the field, okay, so meaning you're never going to throw an in route and let the ball go past the middle of the field so those guys, get into each other. But, not something that I ran a lot just for that sole fact of you didn't know where it was going to play out. Okay, so Brock comes out, and it looks as if he's looking to the left-hand side for the end. And this is something that I think Brock does really, really well, is wherever he's reading on this, he always knows where his check down is. So it looks like he's reading left, and then maybe he works back to the right here, but I think he's going left to check down. Now, for me, and again, maybe these aren't both ends. Maybe one of these is like a skinny post, and I don't really know that. But for me, on this particular play, I'm probably going to read to the front side more often than the back side because we have Christian McCaffrey coming out here, and it gives us more of a true high-low over to this side. Whereas on the back side, we've got George, going outside, first. So he's not in a position to pull the backside linebacker down. So I probably wouldn't look to that side as much and look to the front side. And again, I still don't know if you throw the in because this guy's got enough depth. But you see him start to break here on Christian because Christian's underneath him. And that's what would give us the high-low over to this side, which we don't really have on the other side because George, as I said, is starting out. And then he's returning back here. So eventually he's going to get here. So if we read to this side and this guy drops, then just stay right over here and replace him with the return instead of having to work back to the other side. But Brock always does a good job of knowing where his checkdowns are and getting positive plays. Really well done right here. And so 4 strong, a lot of teams are starting to get to it now, but it can be a really, really tough defense, to see, because we got 4 receivers to the strong side, and teams are usually going to push 3 underneath defenders to that side, right? We add an extra guy there, they're going to add an extra guy there. So there's a lot of underneath bodies here on this side. So you really have to understand, what you're trying to do on a play and where your read needs to start. And so right here, San Francisco is going to basically run double digs. Sorry, not that guy. Outside guy is going to run a dig. And then I think they're running a hooker return here and then a swing there. Okay? So you'll notice everything's kind of working to the backside here, right? Starting to the left and everything's coming into your vision. So as a quarterback, what you need to do is you need to start with the backside guy. If this guy pushes further over, then I'm going to hit the first end. Okay? If he holds for that, then I'm going to go to the next guy and work this in. If he holds to that, then I work to that third guy and I get the in and out on him, off of that return and that swing. Okay? So it's always about understanding where you need to start your read. So nice job here by Brock. Okay? This guy back here holds this off. So he works to the next one. Because this guy's running over here, he's able to wrap that back behind him. This turns into the big touchdown for Pearsall. And then I just want to take you through the next part of it, because to me, this is what this is all about. Okay? Boom. This guy takes that away. Looking for this in. This guy takes that away. Now I'm going to work a return because this guy can't take both of them away. So just kind of watch how this plays out. There it is. So you see it. Okay? If this guy carries it a little bit more inside where you don't have it, there's how the progression works. There's how the read works off of the next guy and how they're replacing. And so I can't say I'm always a huge fan of the play concepts in the drop back pass game for the 49ers, but I'm always going to point out when there's things that make sense to me and they add on like this does. Boom, 1, boom, 2, we get a high-low here off of 2, and we get an in-out here off of 3 if we need it. So it's stacked really, really well to give the quarterback the right answers against what we expect defensively. Okay, here's another thing. And this was really the primary reason why I decided to break down Brock, because you guys hear me all the time talk about have a pressure plan, have a pressure plan, have a pressure plan, have a pressure plan. Always have a pressure plan. If you don't, it's going to lead to negative play after negative play after negative play. Okay, so here, there's going to be a hot issue to the front side here for Brock Purdy. Okay, and you're going to see him recognize this and fall away from it. Right, he recognizes he's going to fall away, and it's ever so slightly, fall away to the weak side, know where the quick throw is, boom. Great catch by George Kittle to kind of bail him out on what wasn't a great throw, but it's knowing that the pressure is coming. Now, I'm a believer that rule of thumb should always be see pressure, attack pressure. So if they're going to bring pressure from this side, that means you've got 3 receivers over there, and they've got to somehow replace that pressure. So if you've got a quick throw, which he does here on the quick out, I would attack the pressure there. So now I can see the pressure coming in my face. I don't have to turn my head to it and try to hope that I beat it. I can see what's out in front of it. Plus, it's the hardest thing for the defense to cover if they're going to bring pressure from one side to try to replace all of those zones. Here, to me, is the easier throw out in front of him, but nonetheless, felt good about it and ended up making a play against the hot. Okay, another concept that I really like here. Okay, so they're going to come back and they're going to run what I call a semi here. Okay, so it's a 10 to 12 yard out, kind of speed cut out. And then they're going to run Debo here on this little kind of stop return. And then actually here with George Kittle, they run an in route right here. So I'm going to show you why I like this. Because again, it's about understanding what we're doing and what we're seeing and what we want this concept against. So this concept to me is a corner off concept. Okay, so when I get the corner off, that means I'm usually going to only have 2 guys on that side of the field underneath. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to attack those two guys with 3. So we start with this out right here because we say to ourselves, I'm reading this pre-snap, this corner is not going to take it away. So this linebacker here has to be the one to take it away. If he doesn't, then I'm going to throw it just like Brock does. Boom, ball's out. He knows that guy's not buzzing hard underneath it, and I'm taking it. Okay? Now, follow me. If this guy buzzes hard to take it away, okay, fine. Now there's one guy left. Who is that guy going to take? Does he clamp to the pivot? If he does, then I'm going to throw the in over the top. If he drops to take the in over the top, then I already know that this guy buzzed hard outside. This guy stays inside. Boom. Now I hit my pivot right here, and I've got 3 on 2 once again. So just like the 4-strong play, this 3-receiver play attacks those underneath zones with 3 guys, and it gives you good options if you know what you're looking at and what kind of concept or what kind of coverage you want to throw it against. Okay, it's another one of my favorite concepts, and it's very similar to what we were just talking about. Okay, so I like how these kind of stacked up together. So I call this popping. All right, so we get a pop from the outside. Okay, so the outside receiver runs a pop, which is kind of a hook route, 5 yards deep, 5 yards inside is kind of how I like to term it. We're going to get a flat to the outside, and then we're going to get it in. So the pop in with the Y. Okay, so it's the same theory here. And so this is what I'm always talking about when I'm talking about full field reads and understanding what you're attacking. So again, I want a corner off look. Why do I want a corner off look? Because very similar to that last play, I've got 3 guys attacking the underneath zones. So I'm going to go flat, hook, in. All right, so there's 2 different ways that you can read this. The way I like to read this is I like to read this inside out. So knowing I've got 2 defenders again to that side, I like to read the inside defender first. Okay, so I'm going to read this defender. As I take off, if this guy stays with depth, then I know my read goes to the next defender outside because he can't cover both of them. If this guy comes flying down on the hook, then I know I'm on time and I'm ready to throw the in, and that's why I like to read it first because I never want that in. I never want to throw that late and let it get to the backside to another defender. So I want it to be my first read. Okay, so there it is. All right, so I'm reading this defender. He's staying deep. Now I'm getting my eyes to this defender. What's he do? He pushes past the hook to the flat. So what are we going to do? We're going to hit the hook. Boom, ball's out. Quick read, understanding what I'm looking for. I don't like it against cover 2. Okay, so again, follow me here if it's cover 2. Let's just say this guy is outside here. This guy's down, and then we have the Mike linebacker here. So I don't like it against cover 2 because the flat runs right to the outside guy that's sitting there waiting for it. The pop runs to the next guy, and then the in runs to the next guy. So we don't have an overload to this side unless we get a corner off type look. So here we get the corner off look. Obviously they bring the pressure here, and that's why that guy is over to this side, right? So just understanding football, right? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys underneath in a cover 3 zone back here. Now, it looked like they were going to have 3 guys overload to the front side, but that's why they're bringing pressure from this side because they know they still have the balance defensively that they need to cover all the zones. I'm simply looking at the corner. Once he's off, I know I can read to this side, and boom, I make the right decision. All right, so here we go again. They're going to bring pressure. All right, so the way San Francisco is picking this up here is they are going to slide to the weak side. Okay, they're going to slide to the weak side, and then they're going to have the strong side defensive end taken care of. So anybody else that comes creates a hot for us. So here they go. They're going to bring that outside linebacker. Now, not really sure why the tackle bounced out to the outside linebacker instead of the defensive end. I would expect him to hold on the interior guy, the guy that's closest to the quarterback, but regardless, one of those guys is going to be free. So again, here is where I say attack pressure. See, check pressure, attack pressure. Take that flat right now, make it easy, get it to Christian McCaffrey, let him turn the corner and get the first down. But this is okay too. I've done this numerous times in my career where I feel like I've got enough time to be able to hit the second level throw against pressure. And if you do, right, you got the pressure in front of you, you can see it, you know how much time you've got, and you can let this go early. So Brock does a great job here. He passes up the first one, okay? I'd probably take that just to make it easy, but he passes it up. Now he gets a little help from his guard who peels back out and knocks that defensive end off. Otherwise, he's going to get hit. But he knows how much time he's got, and he's getting this ball out to the second level throw. He's making these guys pay for their pressure because they're leaving that zone open. Boom, nice throw to the second level against a hot situation, but having a hot answer and knowing what the pressure is, where it's coming from, and how to beat it. Okay, so again, this is just detail stuff for me. And I talked about this in one of my teaching tapes recently, what I call the pig concept. Okay, so some people call it dig. I call it pig just because I like the P part of this because it builds into some other cheats in my offense. So what it means is basically double dig. So double in routes to one side. Okay, and when I was breaking this down before, what I think is so key, it's so key for this inside in route to seam hard inside and try to get inside, or at least force this inside linebacker to move to the inside so we can create a hole for this high-low outside. If we panic and we go outside of this, it clouds everything. So George here, he starts inside, but I'd like to see him go inside even more. I'd like to see him get to the inside number of this guy, or at least force this guy to cut him off inside and create a bigger window. So we do that, and then we take it here. Now, if this guy wants to push through, we've got a shot here. But if we can get him to influence him and take this away because he doesn't want to let us get inside of him, now we open up the outside window. So you're going to see as he goes outside what it does. You see how cloudy that is for Brock right here? I think if George goes inside and we pull this linebacker in here to the hash, we throw this outside in and we get a big play. But because it's so condensed and there's bodies everywhere, you can't really throw that as a quarterback. And he does a nice job. Well, I guess it looks like he's going to do a nice job coming down, but then he ends up having to throw it away. But comes down because of that. I think he can put it on Christian right there, and it's not going to be a big play, but it's going to be a positive play. But to me, spacing is everything here. Is don't panic, seam, get inside here. And again, give him a landmark, okay? So 1 to 2 yards from the hash. So you can go inside or outside of him, but once you have to get to that landmark first so we can really stretch and put the pressure on the Mike linebacker. Staying that wide just makes it easy on him to push through, and he could even continue to push through if he wanted to, and he's right in the spot of the end, but really takes that away over there. As you know, these tapes are about giving quarterbacks the love, but just as much teaching. And why I grab some of these videos is not just because the quarterback always plays great and to show a highlight tape, but to teach the game. And so there's coaches that watch it, the quarterbacks that watch it, even these coaches and quarterbacks can possibly learn or think differently or challenge what they're thinking based on some of these videos. Okay, so here we're going to run a double 7 stop. So push into the corner and then they're going to stop. Here, going to stop, flat, and then we're going to get a guy over the ball. And so again, these are the things that I see and that, again, take guys like Brock Purdy to the next level. Is these 7 stops with flats are really designed for a corner off look. Okay, so we've been talking about it. So the corner is in an off position and we can high-low an outside linebacker. They're not designed for cover 2 type looks. Okay, now this is an interesting one because what you're going to see is they're going to roll to a cover 2 look backside, and they're actually going to try to run to what we call an inverted cover 2 to the front side. So it's cover 2, but it's not the corner that's coming down. Okay, so in essence, we're going to get all the same elements here as cover 2. Okay, and so what I mean by that is, look, we got 2 guys back here playing 2 high safeties. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys playing underneath zones, which is what you have in cover 2. And so we get all the elements that we want in cover 2 on this play. So what Brock realizes as he comes back is they're playing cover 2. So cover 2 isn't as conducive to being able to run these plays because normally you've got this guy sitting here waiting for the flat. You've got this guy here waiting for the stop. This guy waiting for the stop. This guy in the flat. And then the Mike linebacker is taking the middle, both high and low in the Tampa 2. And so there's guys in positions to take away all of these different routes. So Brock does a great job of realizing, hey, it's cover 2. Probably don't have it on the outside. The one place that I can replace is this Mike linebacker who's getting high. Just get right down to your check down because that's the best throw on the play. You can always read the squeeze of these guys because in Tampa 2, these guys are taught to read the quarterback's eyes and squeeze. So if one of these guys squeezes as this guy's starting to, now you can possibly get your inside out off of him if you get there. But because the Mike got so much depth and the squeeze didn't happen fast enough, I just love the quick processing and knowing what I have. Boom, get it down for a check down and get a positive play. And that's what you're going to see sometimes when you get mirrored concepts, right? The same concept on both sides. Both sides are going to be good against the same coverage. So when you get the bad coverage for both sides, now you've got to know what your answer is. And oftentimes that answer is get to your check down quickly, as Brock did on that play. Okay, so here's another one. They're going to bring pressure from the backside. So he's hot again. Watch a little slide. Little slide, buy time, boom. Take your hot. Have a pressure plan. Now, you guys know that I'm a big proponent of sliding away from your 3 receiver side. So you're going to notice 1, 2, 3 receivers are up here. So I'm a big proponent of saying, hey, offensive line, we're going to go here, 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 here. We're going to squeeze this. We're going to squeeze this. And yes, we're going to be hot off of a defensive end in this particular case when they walk up. But what you realize is if they come from the backside, oftentimes, they come from there, then they're going to peel that defensive end anyways because I don't like being hot to this side when I don't have really good options over here. So what do you think Tampa does? They bring the backside pressure and they pop the front side defensive end. So this would be picked up for us if we slid the other way, even though I understand, as I said, if this guy comes, then I got to be ready to hit one of these guys hot to the front side, even this outside guy. But I've got built-in options to the front side where I don't have to rush this and possibly get a bad play because you notice there's no built-in options back here. So they bring pressure back there. They're dropping people out the front side. That could give me problems front side. So I should, in some situations, I'll have to throw it backside. I don't have great options. It's why I like to slide the protection the other way. But they've got some options here and a great job by Brock again to kind of fade away from it and find his quick throw. So there's already a couple examples of the hot. Okay? Here's another example, and this turns into a sack, and I see a lot of teams do this, and again, don't understand what's going on here. Don't understand why we're doing this. So again, notice 3 receiver side is down here to the right. So if I was doing this, I would want to block here, 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 and here. And I'll be hot off of this guy right here and hopefully have some built-in options over to the front side to replace it. So just watch that. Okay, there it is again, right? So that guy pops out. I know I'm not hot. We're protected across the board. I'm in good shape to just read this out, okay? But then the other aspect of this that I just don't understand, and I'm watching teams do this more and more, is they're using this guy to chip a defensive end or even to chip an outside linebacker, whatever. So they're using him to chip there, but they're not blocking that guy. So what they're doing is they're going here, here, here. So they're sliding in exactly the opposite of what I just showed you. So they're blocking everybody down. And so this defensive end now is my hot guy. Yet we're chipping our hot guy, so we have no options to that side anyways. So we chip him here, and he's free. So, where am I throwing it over there with a guy coming in my face if I'm going to the left-hand side? We're not blocking the defensive end. That would be one thing if we're taking that back down and we're going to block him. But we're chipping him, so all of a sudden we're chipping him. We don't really have options over there. I think maybe he's being blocked because we're chipping him, yet he comes free. I'm looking the other direction. and I got hit in the back right here on a sack, and it just makes no sense. Like, again, everybody having to be on the same page that we got to know who our hot is across the board, not just the quarterback, but the receivers as well. So if this guy's hot, you got to get out for me. You got to give me an option to be able to throw the football over there if we're going to do that. Or, hey, you got to come down and understand the call of the offensive line and block that guy so I'm not hot to the backside, but to chip him so we think he's blocked, but he's not blocked, and you don't give us a hot over there. This is the kind of stuff that happens, and we get sacked. And I'm seeing a lot of teams do this without the recognition of what they need on the outside or what makes them hot or how they need to give a quarterback a quick throw, and we get a sack tight in the red zone in a situation where you can't have a sack. And it was like we're oblivious to it because we don't really understand whether he's being picked up or not being picked up, and is he hot, is he not hot? And again, to me, you always want to define your protections to the point where the quarterback knows exactly who he's responsible for. Doesn't matter which side, just tell me who I'm responsible for so I can eye that guy and know that I need to get rid of the football and make some kind of play if he comes, instead of leaving all this gray area, which leads to so many sacks and so many negative plays. Okay, so here we go with another 4-strong play right here. So we're going to have a shallow, we're going to have a vertical here, we're going to have Debo run the quick post, and then we've got the swing over here. Okay, so remember, we kind of talked about the last play. Now, I would love to have an in route back here instead of a post back here, and I'll show you why in a second. But remember what we said, okay? If they push those guys over, this needs to be my first read, okay? So if George Kittle beats him to the backside because he pushes too far over, boom, I'm going to take that, okay? So we come out, he doesn't go. But in doing that, my second read, right, becomes this Mike linebacker. That Mike linebacker chases this shallow, and now we get, once again, 2-on-1 off of that outside linebacker. This corner is getting out of there, and so that's where we get an advantage. Now, if I was doing this, okay, and I would put it in back here like I said. So I have an in and a shallow. So because of that, now what I'm going to do as a quarterback, and again, why these things become so vital to understand who you're reading. Now, I'm going to read the Mike linebacker. So if the Mike linebacker pushes through this shallow, then I'm going to work backside. Because if he pushes through, so follow me here. If he pushes through, okay, so he's going to be in position to take away Debo. The next guy's in position to take away Christian. And so they've got a chance to cover that. But what they don't have is they've only got one guy backside to cover the high-low. So I'm going to read the Mike first. And the Mike's going to tell me if he chases backside like he does here, great. Now I'm going to read front side because I've got 2-on-1 to the front side off of that defender. If the Mike linebacker stays front side, okay, now you see it. Now we've got a high-low off the backside. This guy chases the shallow, and we have a shot for the in back behind him right there. You see it again. This guy would be out of there. You see the in and the opportunity right there. So it's understanding on these 4 strongs, who are we reading first? Are we reading the backside guy? Are we reading the middle guy? What's the concept? How are we overloading them? What are we expecting for their adjustment? And then being able to make the right play. Nice job here. We get the Mike to chase. Now he replaces back to Debo as he beats the next guy. So I hope as you guys are watching this, you're appreciating what I'm talking about here. Appreciating the concepts, appreciating the reads, and sometimes the difficulty, but understanding where your eyes need to be to start are so key. And then you're understanding Brock Purdy and his play and what he's doing play after play. Here we go again. Boom. Bring this guy. Have a hot plan. Where's your plan? Where's your throw? Where's your quick throw? See the pressure. Replace the pressure. There it comes. Bang. Ball's out of my hands. I'm getting a completion. And again, you're going to see on the sideline, right? It's 3rd down. Sticks are here. I get it. We're not going to get the first down. Okay? But that's the right play. That's a positive play. If we get sacked right here, maybe we're out of field goal range. I get 4 yards, even though we get tackled and go get the first down. We just saved ourselves 8, 9, 10, 12 yards on the kick to possibly make it easier on our kicker in these situations, but it's making positive plays. It's moving forward. It's having an answer in every situation. Again, the little things. The little things. They're simply going to run curl flat right here. All right, so these are the keys that I'm talking about, where there's all this pure progression stuff in the NFL, and actually San Francisco runs a lot of the pure progression stuff too. But these are the kind of things that I like to do in my offense. Is we're going to run a curl flat over there, okay? So all I need to know when I come back as a quarterback is the cornerback in an off position? Is he playing a soft position? Because if he is, then there's another guy underneath. The next guy underneath is responsible for the curl and the flat area of the field. So what do we get here? First step, boom, cornerback's off. What do I got? I got one guy responsible for both of those guys. He pushes to the flat. I recover with the curl. It's not rocket science. It's about understanding what you need to see on the outside, what makes a concept good, and then being able to read the one guy or the two guys that make a concept good. Boom, get the ball out. Nice completion. Easy read when you know what you're looking at. All right, one of the best and biggest plays in this game. Okay, so they should have this all protected, although they mess it up. But it's the ability to anticipate is another thing number 13 does really, really well. They're going to run something that I call chug. Okay, so they run a lot of choice routes with Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. Okay, so you're going to see it, you're going to see it, you're going to see it, and then they're going to come back with a chug, which is a choice and a go. A choice and go. So now they're going to push him up. They're going to stutter him like he's going inside or out, and then they're going to run him on a go route. So you're going to see as he comes out of this, a little stutter right there. Boom. Gets the linebacker to freeze and up over the top. But more importantly, we got pressure. Boom. Ball's being thrown right now. Christian is 3 yards underneath the defender, but you read the body language. You see this guy hesitate, and you know where your guy's going, so you can lay this ball up in the air. Great touch right there on the money, allowing his receiver to adjust to it and beating the pressure with a throw. Yes, doesn't have a cannon arm. Yeah, he's not Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen in terms of his physical skill set. But these are difference-making plays, game-changing plays that make great players great, even though they don't have the skill set of other guys. This is the kind of stuff. How many guys in the league make this throw? Even talk about those great players. Do they all make this throw? Maybe they do, but so does Brock, right? And so it puts him in the category of being able to do things that other guys in this league cannot do, and we've seen it already on this tape over and over and over again. Okay, it's the little things. Okay, so we're coming back here. Brock's making the play fake. He understands he's got one safety in the middle of the field, all right? He knows this entire time he is coming back here to this skinny post if he can get this guy to work to the front side at all. So that's what he's doing. He's coming back and eyeing that guy. See how he peeks to the right? Peeks to the right. This guy, all he has to do is turn his hips. He doesn't have to go flying there. He turns his hips, and I know he can't get back here to take the skinny. So Brock works that guy, comes back to the skinny. Now, the biggest thing down here in the red zone is timing. Now, I don't know if this is Brock. I don't know if this is Juwan. I don't know the timing of this, but you're going to notice right here, ball needs to be out. So here's the difference down here is I love what Brock's doing. I love that he's trying to hold that safety, but down here, ball's got to be out of his hands right here because you see Juwan Jennings is turning his head and breaking. He's a step or two late. And so now the corner is able to recover, and was a great decision and a great job by him to work that, knowing where he wants to go with the football. The timing even has to be quicker on this. And it's one reason why the play fake right down here can be really, really tough, because you see Juwan Jennings is not even really going, or maybe going 10 yards on his route. That is a very quick throw down here, and timing is vital. So you got to token fake that. If you want to look the safety, you got to do it quick, and you got to get this ball out just a touch quicker, and you got yourself a touchdown because everything else is right. It's just the timing of the two is off. Now, maybe Jawan is supposed to spend a little bit more time selling this, and it will help his quarterback out. I don't know which part of that is true, but what I know is the ball is late to the route or the route is early to the ball. One of those two things is the difference on this play from an incompletion and a touchdown, even though they're doing a whole bunch of stuff right. Okay, and again, say what we want about Brock's skill set if you want, but I've seen him make a lot of plays, buying time, doing this. And then how about this? Again, how many guys in the league make this throw? Unbelievable. Does a great job of buying time, and then right there, okay? And again, it's a little thing, but the ability to move your body, then flip your hips to get lined up so you can make a throw. Instead of continuing to run to the sideline and trying to make this throw running away, it's run, quick set. What I call a quick set. Run, 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 quick set, line up, get your body as set as possible. Like his weight's still going to be fading to the sideline because you can't get it fully stopped, but he's doing a great job of slowing it down the best he can to allow him to make an accurate throw because his body is going to lead him. He doesn't have to depend all on his arm to make this throw. His body leads him, so he slows down the process, gets lined up the best he can, and makes an incredible throw in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. And it's about technique, because that's another thing we don't talk about. We want to talk about all of the physical skills, which is fine because guys that are great at it can do some unbelievable things with it. But the next factor that can make great players great is great technique. Understanding how to throw different throws, how to be balanced, how to be ready, how to flip your hips quickly, quick set this to give yourself a chance to make this throw because you're not as gifted as somebody else. Unbelievable. It's a great job all the way. It's like textbook. Run, run, run. Get everybody running. Because that's the other thing you notice, right? As he goes sideways, Vita Vea goes sideways too. Vita Vea can't attack him. He's got to attack to the sideline because he's afraid that Brock will outrun him. So he goes flat, and when he goes flat, that buys Brock time to turn and flip his feet because he forced Vita to go away from him, flip his feet, buy enough time to be able to make that throw, and a great job on the back end. Here we go again, bringing pressure. Have a hot plan, have a hot plan, have a hot plan. Hard to say 3 times fast. Okay? Hot plan. Boom. There's the hot plan. Okay? Gets knocked down here. Gets knocked down, but he's going to the right place with the football. Okay? And this is one thing that I talk about all the time with pressure is I like to see quarterbacks not stop their feet. Okay? So notice how Brock kind of stops his feet right here. And when you stop your feet, you give this guy the ability to attack your right arm. Okay? So quarterbacks out there, coaches out there, practice the drill of falling away, falling away, falling away, and then making your throw falling away. Being able to engage your body and not have to set your feet to make these kinds of throws. So now, if Brock stays on the move falling away, this guy is at a bad angle, and it gives me a better angle to avoid him with the throw. When I stop, he attacks my right arm. If I never stop and I'm falling away and I throw this thing falling away, it's a better opportunity for me to negotiate him and get the ball around him and hit that throw because I'm going to the right spot. I just got to be able to make the throw now. Okay, here they come again, bringing pressure here. Now they end up dropping off, only bringing 5, but again, he's got a pressure plan, right? He knows if they bring all of these guys, he's hot right here. Got to get the ball out. Does a nice job again, having a plan, seeing it open, get the ball out of his hands, get a quick, easy completion. The ball's out of his hands before the break, and we're moving. Have a pressure plan. Know where your quick options are. The way to win playing quarterback without it looking sexy, without having to do above and beyond, without having to be the most talented guy in the world, having a plan and being able to process this information. Here we go again. Blitz 0. Boom, boom, boom. They're bringing everybody. They're going to have free hitters. This guy's here going to come free on Brock. guess what? Got a plan. He's got a plan. Oh, coming? There's my plan. There's my throw. Boom. Picking up the first down. One of the last plays of the game, setting him up for the game-winning field goal. The kicker had missed 3 field goals in the game, right? Everybody's stressed about it. Okay, we get sacked here. We have an incompletion here. It's a really long field goal. Okay, maybe get one more play in. Instead, have a plan. Okay, and here's the other thing. Having a plan, getting the ball out quick, what does it do? This much space between defender and receiver, right? So now when he catches it, has the opportunity to do something with it. I'm not holding it. I'm not late. I know exactly what I want to do, and I get the ball out of my hands. Now, he's got the ability to make an all-pro safety miss because you gave him all kinds of space. He caught it. He turned and squared this guy up with 4 yards. Now you get the ability to, boom, boom, make a guy miss, pick up that extra 10 yards, set up our kicker for the game winner, and everybody's happy. And where does it start? Starts right here with 13, understanding the pressure plan, what to do, making the right play, not making the wow play, which is why everybody says, oh, he's not as good as it, because he doesn't make the wow plays like they do from the physical standpoint. Well, this to me is a wow play. These are wow plays in this league because it was the difference between winning and losing a close game, and we saw it all day long. We see it week in and week out, and it's why I believe Brock Purdy is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League because these are the kind of plays that he makes on a weekly basis, even in a game where I didn't think he played great. Made the key plays in the moment like the best quarterbacks in the league, and that's why San Francisco got the win.